Hey, it's Chris Coffin. I'm here with Ian Billick, the Executive Director for the Rocky Mountain Biological Lab, and we're normally would be standing in Gothic, Colorado, where their main campus and facilities are, but we're not. We're just here in Mount Crested Butte. Ian, tell us about this site and what some of the plans are that you all have.
Yeah, we have an agreement with the Crested Butte Mountain Resort, and what we're examining is whether we can put a campus here. And the agreement with the ski resort is if we provide seasonal housing that would help them satisfy some of their requirements from Mount Crested Butte, we would have approximately 6 acres here that we could use for a campus development. That 6 acres in the campus development would include 3 different things. It would include a public outreach component. It would include the housing, seasonal housing, as well as potentially long-term housing, as well as laboratory research office space.
Okay, and so right now we're kind of situated just above the Snodgrass Trailhead and the parking lot there. Give us a sense for the elements and some of the other things that you might be doing and where they would potentially go here.
Yeah, so the exciting thing about this parcel is we can create a win-win situation. So this is an amazing location for outdoor recreation. People are using this to access Snodgrass for hiking in the summer, as well as skiing in the winter. They're using the Gothic corridor for their winter recreation. And so one element of this project will be to serve those outdoor recreationists and then to bring in the science part to it. This site does have several different challenges. So we've got the Mount Crested Butte Boneyard. We've got the maintenance shop that the Crested Butte Mountain Resort maintains. We've got the parking. We also have in the long run, the ski resort wants to maintain vehicular access through this parcel because they've got some real estate behind it. And so we want to make this site just be a magical thing, right? And so we want to take something that's got a lot of different elements and not always the most aesthetically pleasing stuff, and we want to make something that's magical, that's about the outdoors, that's about science, that really makes it a special place.
Well, I know one of the questions that a lot of people will probably ask is, are you going to lose any access to recreation? And you've already answered that, no. The other thing people may not remember is, at one point the North Village was still platted to support, I think, over 1,500 residents. So this really, right now, because there's nothing else here, people might be, oh my gosh, all this infrastructure here in our natural environment, but we're really right here by Gothic Road and future potential North Village that's there. But you also mentioned down near the parking lot there would be some sort of an interpretive center that would help be sort of a launching off point perhaps for people to really enjoy this space. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, so, and again, to emphasize, this project would not change anybody's access. And so summer access with vehicles to Gothic or hiking access on the Snodgrass, our goal would actually to be enhance that access. And we imagine having an interpretive center. And we think this is a great thing because it'll create vitality for Mount Crested Butte and hopefully reduce some of the pressures we have in the Gothic town site. So we have a lot of people visiting in summer, and if we can bring some of those people down into Mount Crested Butte and do some of our activities here, we think that's going to be a great thing for everybody. So one of the things we're looking at is creating an interpretive center. If you've spent time in winter, you can know there can be pretty significant winds. It can be pretty cold. And so if there's a little place where someone can come in, grab a coffee, get their boots changed, get it warm before they head up there, we think that'll be a great thing for outdoor recreation.
Well, it might be also an increase in the Mountain Express bus that comes up here typically about every 30 minutes. Which is a nice thing. Maybe there'll be increased bus service as well. So what are the other questions that people might have asked or that are out there that you want to make sure people understand?
Well, and you made the point earlier that this area has already been platted out for relatively high density commercial and residential. We would be the first project here, and so obviously that changes it. But this is in Mount Crested Butte. It's in a municipality. It would be on the Mount Crested Butte Water and Sanitation District. So we see this, if we're going to have increased impacts and growth, it should be in a municipality, right? And so we think this fits the context really well. The questions we get from the general public are the massing of the buildings. Will these be really large buildings? The answer is no. We want to keep them proportional to what you have over in Gold Lake and Prospect. Those are larger homes, but we're not talking about big buildings that are 10, 15,000 square feet, more 5 to 8,000 square feet.
Very good.
We're also thinking about where we are here. We want to reduce our visual impacts on this ridge line, so keep the buildings down to 2 or 3 stories at the most. And then light pollution. So what can we do to reduce the visual impacts we have at night, so maintaining those dark skies. So these are all things we're thinking about in the design process.
Well, very good. And you know, Rocky Mountain Biological Lab, you know, they are stewards of the environment, and from a real estate perspective, this would go through Mount Crested Butte Land Use and Planning, and then the town council. So there'll be a lot of public hearings where people can provide input and get a look at, you know, where this thing goes as far as the project along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And my email is director@rumble.org. And the earlier we get feedback and questions, the easier it is for us to incorporate into the design process. The general public, there will be public sessions. So you'll have an opportunity, if you have comments you want to make directly to the town of Mount Crested Butte, there will be public hearings where you can provide that feedback. But I encourage you just to contact me if you want to, and I'm happy to answer questions and take feedback.
Well, Ian, thanks so much. Appreciate you getting out ahead of this, because a lot of times people have thought, hey, you know, a lot of these things happen in the back room, and you've been very open and honest in what you guys are planning to do and wanting to get public impact. And I think this could be a really nice asset for Crested Butte and Mount Crested Butte and our whole valley and all the extensions of what you do up in Gothic. So thanks for that.
Well, great. Well, thank you, Chris.
You bet.